get it tonight.
Hey, what's up you guys? JackjackHD. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a auto start for your 1v1 maps. Be honest, people don't make these type of videos, people don't make these type of tutorials. You know, usually tutorials out there are kind of like this.
Bruh.
For me to make high quality tutorial videos for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this type of content. Make sure you guys leave a like if you guys enjoy this type of thing, and subscribe if you're new and you're interested in watching other content from me. I also stream occasionally, so if you turn on notifications anytime I do stream, you will be notified of when I do stream. All right, so let's get right into it. I'm going to show you guys how to build a auto start for your 1v1 maps. Let's get right into it. In front of me, there's actually 3 auto starts. So I'll show you guys one way to make the auto start in this video. If you want to see the other 2 examples, you can go ahead and find those in the description. All right, so in this video, I'll show you guys how to build this first auto start. This auto start is pretty straightforward. You got the wall in front of us here. You can't build on it. You can build around it, obviously, but you can't build where that object is. Here is how we build this. You can see here, I have a trick tile. I also have triggers next to the wall. If you have no idea what I'm talking about and you're just kind of clueless and you're newer to Fortnite Creative, I'm going to show you guys how to get this done. So one thing to know about this auto start, there are many different walls you can use for your auto start. Here are 3 that I suggest. One thing that not a lot of people know how to do is you can actually open up a gallery by clicking on the open button. Once you hover over the gallery, you click on the open button and you can actually look at the pieces in that gallery. So the jail wall you can actually find from the dark tilted wall gallery, and it's at the very bottom. So the wooden wall can be found at Frenzy Farm, Barn, and Shed Gallery. Then the other wall can be found at Neo Tilted Gallery B. We're going to go ahead and use this jail wall here. Go ahead and take that and bring this to your ramps. So now that it's between your ramps, what we're going to do is go to devices. So we're going to open up My Island again, go to devices. In devices, we're going to go and choose a trick tile. So this trick tile here, go ahead and click the trick tile. With the trick tile, place one trick tile on the wall, just like so. With that, we're going to go into the settings for this trick tile. In the settings, we're going to go to all options. There's actually tabs at the very top here. We're going to go to all options so we see all the options. And here are the settings that we're going to change. Activation delay, we're going to set this to none. Trigger on player contact, we're going to set this to no. Trigger when received from, we're going to set this to channel 10. Reset when received from, we're going to set this to channel 7. Confirm. All right, so next, back to devices, and we're gonna get the trigger. So with the trigger, equip the trigger. All right, so with this trigger, what we're gonna have to do is actually copy it. So we're gonna copy it like so. Now that we have it copied, we're gonna grab it. We're gonna have to resize this. So obviously, the more experienced you are with Fortnite Creative building, the easier this will be. Okay, so the objective that we gotta do is actually resize it so it's as large as the wall. So on the left side of the screen, you'll actually see settings where you can adjust the size of this trigger. So first things first, we're gonna hold the button that says resize. I'm on Xbox, using Xbox controller. So I hold the B button, and with that, I'm able to resize the trigger. And then I'll click on the grow button and I'll resize it. Next, resize access, I'm going to set this to height so I can resize the height of the trigger. So I'm going to click on the LB button, which is my shrink button, and then it'll shrink like so. So now it's pretty much as flat as a pancake. Now what we need to do is rotate it. So we're going to hold the B button again, we'll hold the resize button, and we're going to flip the object using the rotate access, switch it to pitch. We are going to rotate counterclockwise. The object will rotate. Now it should be the size of the wall. Also, we're going to set drops on offs. So if you do decide to place it, it floats like so. Okay, so before we actually place it on the wall, what we're going to do is go into the settings for this trigger. Here are the settings that we're going to change. Triggered by vehicle, we're going to turn that to off. Triggered by sequencers, we're going to turn this to off. Times can trigger, we're going to set this to 1. Trigger sound, we're going to set this to disabled. Triggered VFX, we're going to set this to disabled as well. Visible in game, we're going to set this to no. Reset times triggered when receiving from, we're going to set this to channel 7. When triggered transmit on, we're going to set this to channel 1. Alright, very important, make sure you have these channels correct. Make sure, like every settings that I ever change in this video, make sure it's set correctly. Confirm. We're going to take this trigger and line it up with the wall. So now I have it set to grid snap 16, and we're going to put it at the front of the wall like so. We're going to rotate this wall, and we're going to change the direction like that. So with the second trigger, we're going to go into the settings. We just got to change one settings. One trigger transmit on. We're going to set this, instead of channel 1, we're going to set this to channel 2. All right, so I'll show you guys how I have it, and this is probably the best way to have the triggers set. If you have the triggers too close to each other, they'll actually get activated by the same person, and you kind of don't want that to happen. So make sure that it looks somewhat like this and not too close to the wall. If you need to, you can always use grid snap 32 instead of the 16. If you have it set the grid snap 32, you just have a little bit more room to work with. All right, so with that, we're going to go and take the first trigger that we actually didn't do anything with. So find somewhere, that's away from the map. Now here's a little option. If you want, you can always go to galleries and choose a random floor. Place down the floor, then place down the trigger on top of it. Now you might be asking, what was the point of that? Now let me tell you, this actually makes it a little bit easier to organize your devices, and this is just what I do. And also, it might be easier for you guys to learn what you guys are doing and what these devices do. All right, so we're gonna have a handful of devices in order for our auto start to work. Well, this first trigger here, we're gonna go into the settings. Triggered by player, we're gonna set this to off. Triggered by vehicle, turn this to off. Triggered by sequencers, we're gonna set this to off. Visible in game, you can set this to no, so it's invisible when the game starts. Trigger when receiving from, we're gonna set this to channel 1. One trigger transmit on, we're going to set this to channel 3. Confirm, we're going to go ahead and take this and lift it up a little bit. Then we actually copy it, make a second trigger just underneath it, go into that settings, and what we're going to change is trigger when receiving from, we're going to set this to channel 2. Confirm, and go ahead and take that trigger, copy it. Third trigger, go into the settings, transmit every X triggers, we're going to set this to 2. Reset times triggered when receiving from, we're going to set this to channel 7. Trigger when receiving from, we're going to set this to channel 3. One trigger transmit on, set this to channel 5. Confirm. All right, we're going to copy this, drag it over, and this trigger, go into the settings. Transmit every X triggers, we're going to set this to 1. Delay, we're going to set this to 3 seconds. If you want, you can actually set this to 2 seconds. It'll actually just disappear the wall faster, and that's all up to you. I recommend 3 seconds or 2 seconds. Reset times triggered when receiving from, we're going to set this to no channel. Trigger when receiving from, set this to channel 5. One trigger transmit on, this will be set to channel 10. Confirm. Go ahead and take that trigger and copy it. Go into the settings. We're going to have a delay on this trigger, and this trigger will be the last trigger that actually resets the auto start. Trigger when receiving from, we're going to set this to 10. One trigger transmit on, this will be set to 7. Confirm. All right, so next what we're going to do is actually make a hood message device, and we're connected with these 2 triggers here. We'll go to devices, go to hood message device. All right, so this isn't really necessary, but for the people that want to know how to make the messages, this is how you do it. All right, into the settings. So what we're going to do is change the message, and the message, you can be whatever you want. This is actually the message that's going to pop up once both players are ready to start their 1v1. So maybe like get ready, or maybe even set. All up to you. From there, change these settings. Originally, time from round start, this hood message device actually starts after 10 seconds, but we're going to disable this, go to off. Display time, we're going to set this to 2 seconds. Text style, this is all up to you. This is preference. I'm going to set it to extra large. Placement, this is all up to you. I would recommend either top center or bottom center. This is all up to you. I'm going to keep it on bottom center. Show when receiving from, we're going to set this to 5. Channel 5, like so. We'll confirm. We're going to copy this hood message device and actually connect it with this trigger. Go into this. Once the wall gets disabled, this is the message that pops up. So I'm going to set it to go. Here are the settings I'm going to change for this hood message device. Display time, I'm going to set it to 1 so it only shows up for 1 second. Then show when receiving from, we're going to have to change this. We're going to set it to channel 10. All right, so briefly, for the people that are, into actually building Fortnite Creative and understanding these triggers and what they do, I apologize for the people that don't care. They're just like, yeah, just show me what I gotta do and I want to play my game. This is for the people that are actually interested in learning. Real quickly, these 2 triggers are actually respectively their own trigger next to the wall, and once both triggers are activated by the 2 players on both sides of the wall, it sends 2 signals to the third trigger that gives a message on the hood saying get ready. from there, it sends a signal to the fourth trigger that actually disables the wall after 3 seconds, because I have the wall set to 3-second delay. From there, you also have that connected with the hood message device. Once the wall actually gets disabled, it will say go. And from there, it sends a signal to the final trigger. So the final trigger has a delay of 3 seconds. So after 3 seconds, once the wall gets disabled, it'll actually replace itself. The wall will actually reappear and the whole process gets reset. So there you go. That is the mechanics for this auto start for your 1v1 maps. All right, so we're going to go ahead and test it out. If you don't already know, if you want to start with items, just go to the devices, go to team settings and inventory, go ahead and place that wherever you want on the map, and then just drop items, drop weapons in that device. And then once you do spawn, you actually spawn with those items. Real simple. All right, so we got our wall here. There should be a trig tile connected to this wall. Also, we have the triggers that are on the both sides of the wall. So imagine there was 2 people. It's just me here, so I got to do this by myself. So you hit this wall here. That first trigger gets activated. Then I go over here, and I should be able to click on it. There you go. Get ready. And there you go. Oh, what the? Why is my wall flipped? All right, we're going to try it one more time. There you go. Works. Alright, you guys, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hopefully you guys got your auto start working. And make sure you guys leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if this tutorial worked and, you know, if you guys got your auto start working. Also, if you want to see the other 2 ways how to make a auto start, you can always take a look at that in the description. I have links down there. You know, I've actually seen comments where actually people would run into issues and they'd say they copy the whole video, and probably an hour later they'd come back to reply and say, oh shoot, I made a mistake.
I didn't change the setting correctly.
So make sure you're paying attention, make sure you're taking your time with the tutorial. If you really need to, you can rewind the video, pause the video, try your best to understand what I'm doing and, you know, how I do it. You know, for example, the channels, make sure the channels are changed correctly. You mess up those channels, you'll just run into a lot of trouble. And then you're gonna have to go through all the triggers, go through all the devices again to make sure the channels are correct. And yeah, you guys, hopefully you guys have fun making the auto start. You know, I think that's the most important thing. Hopefully you're having fun with making things on Fortnite Creative. If you guys are interested in other content from me, subscribe, turn on notifications, and you guys can always take a look at my channel and see other tutorials, see other videos I've made. Right now, I'm actually working on a series of me playing on featured creative maps and rating on how good the maps are as a stream with you guys, and you can find that on my channel in the description. Also, use code JackjackHD in the item shop if you do want to support me. #ad. And yeah, you guys, I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, guys. Peace.